Hello, my name is Solera. So everybody has their own path into spiritual awakening and to really connecting themselves to source, to the universe, you can say. And today I want to share a little bit about kind of how I end up being a spiritual channel, how I opened up the Akashic Records and connected to my own spiritual guides in the hopes that it would inspire you and, get you motivated on your journey to an awakened and joyful life. So I guess I'm going to start a little bit back, in my childhood. I didn't really grow up in a wealthy family or anything like that. My parents are very normal. My mom works, in accounting. My dad was like a salesman of different kind of office equipment for 30, plus years. So very normal. And then my parents were divorced. My mom and I and my brother, we moved to the States. So I started 8th grade in Orlando, Florida. Florida is kind of a small town. Orlando back then was a small town. So, here I was kind of a new kid, in the school. And my mom had sent me to a private school, like a small Catholic school, just so that I could get more, I guess, individual attention. But we really were sort of just making ends meet. I think my mom, she always would. She was always willing to spend money on education. So even though we're struggling, she wanted to make sure that I kind of had like a good start, right? So my life was just kind of on a normal path, struggling maybe at home a bit with a new environment. I didn't really speak English when I first moved to the States, and going through a divorce was upsetting, just to any child, right, who would be upset. And I was playing piano competitively. I started to play a lot more seriously, and I was always a good student, but I think I became even a better student, thinking that, in America, if you have a good education, this is the path to success. And I think that is certainly the case now almost everywhere in the world. Like, parents think that way. So I pushed myself really hard. I became a straight A student. I was one of the best pianists in my age category. I would go to compete all the time. The little money that my mom had, from her part-time job at Sears, went into my piano lesson. And so that was how I grew up. And then eventually I landed at my dream university, which was Northwestern University, one of the top 10 U.S. colleges. And I thought, okay, my dream came true, right? And then I thought the next thing is to get an internship, the next thing is to get a job offer. And I ended up landing actually several job offers, one from Google, one from JCPenney, and another one from a private firm in Chicago. So I ended up taking the job as a systems analyst, in IT, from this private firm because they pay me the most. Okay, I thought, okay, I needed the money to pay back my student loans. Northwestern was a very good school. Even with the grants that I had, I still owed a lot of student loans. So I took that job, and I thought I made it. I did everything right. I got the grades, I got the internship, I got the job. Now I was 22. I was making pretty good money. Like I think I had like $65,000 as my starting salary, and I thought, great, I'm set for life. I don't have to do anything else. But I was really living in my not self. Okay, meaning I manifested the reality that I had because I thought it was what I wanted. I thought it was good for me that I had a 9-to-5 job that paid me well, but that I didn't really care about. Okay, the company was great. They not only paid me well, but they treated their employees well. So I have nothing to complain. Okay, I'm not bashing them or anything like that. It wasn't me. It wasn't really me. They sold, nuts and bolts, industrial supplies and things like that. And I was just like, okay, this is not really what I was interested in. And I was not good at it, to be honest. And I was bored. And I really hid myself. One of the things I would do when I go to work, I would go to work very early. I would arrive there about 6 a.m. And I would walk around the walls of the company because I didn't want people to see me, okay? This was how not self I was. I was trying to hide myself. I just glide along the walls until I reached to my cubicle. And then one day I actually, my car got towed during one of the Chicago marathons, and I was at this compound um, trying to get my car back, and this girl looked so good. I mean, she was dressed, fabulously. She was beautiful, and I was like, oh my gosh, where do you work? I mean, she was just very attractive. And I thought, oh, I'm going to go talk to her. I mean, I had nothing to do. I had to wait for 3 hours there. So I went to talk to this lady, and she was pretty young, about my age. And she was like, oh, I work for this image consulting firm, and, we help people redo, their look, and, help them succeed at work. So she gave me a card. I went into the website, and I thought, oh, they have voice coaching. Or maybe I could, I thought I couldn't express myself. I thought I had something wrong with my speech. So I went there. I met with the CEO, and she was like, you're fine. You're fully capable of articulating yourself fairly well, and but you're hiding yourself, and you're not really your true self. So that was, I would say, my first transformational experience. I bought a package with the company. They started to change the way I looked. But it was it really turned me inside out. Okay, it wasn't just the clothes that they changed. I mean, granted, they threw away all my college clothes. I mean, I looked like I was 12 when I was working in this IT company. And so they made me look like a star. And then after the transformation was over, the secretary at the front desk, she just came to me one day. She was like, oh my God, you look like you can be the VP of this company. And I was only 22 at the time. I was like, wow, I felt really special. And then, 2008, 2009 came, there was an economic downturn, and I was already not doing really good at this firm. So they let me go. They fired me, essentially. And I was like, oh my God, it was my first job, and I got fired. But it was really good. It turned out to be a blessing in disguise. I was really able to utilize that situation and create a different life for myself. I became a dance teacher. I was doing competitive ballroom dancing when I was at Northwestern, so I became a ballroom dance instructor, had my own business. And then very shortly after, my fiance at the time also broke up with me. So then it was kind of like one thing after another. I really was trying to see, okay, where am I going in life? Who I am? How am I going to make a difference in this world? Because I don't know. Then I found a spiritual psychology program at the University of Santa Monica. They don't offer that program now, not as a master's degree, but I was very lucky that I took it while it existed. So it led me to kind of the next door, a next opportunity. And I was like, wow, this is so amazing. I love doing this. I love meeting new friends. They were all very spiritual. They were all trying to explore themselves. And it was everybody from everywhere, literally. And I would say this was like sort of my second transformational experience. And then after that, I had, started to travel a lot more after I graduated. I went to Italy. I studied Italian there. I painted there. Then I went to Korea, South Korea, to meditated for about 5 months every single day. It was a very transformational experience. It was during the meditation that I really cleared my mind and kind of tapped into that universal force, you can say. And then the last destination that I had was Iceland. So in between, I did go back to LA, so I took a break in between all my travels. It was in Iceland that my ability to channel came to me. And it's based on really the lessons that I received from the Akashic Records, from the spiritual guides, that I now have the life that I have. Living in Thailand, spending time painting all day, doing the stuff that I like. Now I'm taking a singing class just for fun, not having debts, but rather have savings. I mean, I used to have tons of credit card debts, not to mention student loans. And I'm in a happy relationship. I was single for 6-7 years before that. And so this is something I really want to teach you is, how I came to live the life that I have now. And my goal, my intention is to share these lessons with you that the spiritual guides have taught me. Okay, so I'm going to stop here for now, go take a break, okay, and I'll come back next time and to really help you understand these spiritual principles and how you can apply them and live an abundant life, merging the spiritual and the material. Okay, I'll see you next time.